we have the last of today. I think our last discussion, you were actually you have to attend to
Yeah.
your child going to some medical treatment. I don't know. Okay. Okay, now, but basically, I think it's
Yeah.
unfortunate
Yes,
that
Prof.
when you were in Malaysia, you have
Okay.
uh, some illness, chicken pox. Oh my God!
Yeah.
See, okay, so
Mm.
I hope you
I
are
had
still
chicken pox,
handsome.
Prof.
There's no.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, because back then, you were still trying to figure out what you want to do. You still have different views. Okay. Okay. Now, would you like to share anything so that actually, what do you want to do actually? Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Okay,
It's
Prof.
clear.
Thank you for the opportunity, Prof. Uh, can you hear my voice? I mean, is my voice clear? Okay. Okay. Uh, First, I want to congratulate Dewa and Abu Bakar for your progress.
Thank you, brother.
And
Thank you.
Prof, to be honest, after seeing Dewadi and Abu Bakar progress, I
Thank you.
feel really motivated
No.
and
No
fun.
problem.
Also,
We are here
I
for you.
am the one that
We are here
left
for you.
pretty
Don't
far
worry.
behind right now. But
Yeah.
okay, thank you, Prof. Okay, for today's discussion, I have three things. My main intention for today is to get your
Okay.
perspective or your guidance on how should I conduct
Okay.
the research. And to be honest, I don't have much to
Okay.
present today because I currently at the state of finding literature and try to categorize them into several topic or area. Maybe I will first. I want to get your perspective
Okay.
about
No. No. No.
my
Actually,
topic
I'm looking
or
forward to
title.
your research
Yeah,
because
I hope
I think
I'm not
that
bored you,
your
Prof,
research back then, yeah,
because
because we are focusing on tourism in Bali, and you can see that from even with Abu Bakar, right? I think
yeah,
my passion is for you to do something that benefits your people. Okay, okay, and it makes me proud. Yeah, if your work
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
actually in some way improve, okay, your community in your respective countries, I will be, something that I will be grateful for that, because I actually in a way that I have a small contribution to the people of your country, so which is something that I want very much actually. So I'm looking forward for
Yeah.
this,
Sure.
for
Sure.
tourism micro services operators,
okay,
because we
okay,
just the big people, the big organization don't care about that. They are well taken care of. No,
yeah,
these are the small people that we want to actually really help. And how can we help them? By using our knowledge, so that they will be organized and they can take advantage of the new things that we have today for their benefit. Okay, please.
okay, Prof. Thank you, Prof. For before at
Okay.
our previous meeting, I am I was very confident about this topic, Prof. About how to create or developing a framework in IT adoption for tourism micro services operators. But after this
Okay.
uh, outbreak, coronavirus outbreak, I have
Okay.
a little doubt about how to address the background research, how to address the background. I have a little doubt because before the people visiting Bali, people or tourists visit Bali, a lot of people, a lot of tourists came before the outbreak. But
Mm.
after the outbreak, they decrease very significantly. So maybe the first thing I want to uh, get your perspective is about the topic is the IT adoption framework for tourism
I think the
micro
title is
services
very good,
operators in Bali,
and
Indonesia. What do you
similarly,
think about
similarly,
this, Prof?
to put into context now, because now in Indonesia there is this new normal, right? This new normal, meaning that what have been done, okay, previously may not work now,
Right.
right? You agree with that, okay? So meaning that how can, okay, so in your let's say to
Yes.
justify your title, okay, to justify your title, meaning that uh, I want
Mm.
you similar to Abu Bakar, okay, and similar to everyone. So I think we have been talking about COVID all along, okay, okay. Try to put what you are trying to do into the perspective of this new normal in Indonesia, okay, because I think this new normal is something big in Indonesia. I think
Okay.
people talk about
Okay.
this, and of course some Indonesian has have been very sarcastic about new normal because I read, oh, this is new normal. New normal is that you have 2,000 infection every day. Yeah, they are being sarcastic about that. Okay, but I think because if you can actually relate, okay, what's happening now in Bali, okay, what's happening now in Bali, meaning that you can see that tourists are not coming in because of there is restriction of traveling to Indonesia and so on. Even if you open up, people are reluctant to come to Indonesia at this point of time because of the pandemic in Indonesia and also in their own country. So basically, how can you actually come up with, first and foremost, to justify, you need to show that uh, currently the uh, traditional way of as operators for small micro services operators in tourism in Bali needs to change under the new normal, and by incorporating more IT, okay, more IT. So first and foremost, when you want to talk about how to adopt IT in tourism for these small operators, you need to have a good idea what kind of services, okay, what kind of services that uh, IT can provide actually to small tourists, okay. uh, for, so meaning that this is part of the reading that you can
Okay.
actually
Okay.
you can read up, okay, not just in Indonesia. You can see that how Thailand is addressing this issue, how Vietnam is addressing this issue, and you have Vietnam is a big problem now, and it's not big, you see in Da
Mm.
Nang, Vietnam. Now Da Nang is actually one tourist city, very popular vacation place, you know they have for 100 days they have zero case of daily COVID, zero for 100 days, and suddenly they have three cases. They shut down the city, and they want to actually move to evacuate 100 tourists, 100,000 tourists. You see, You see this what pandemic is doing. Okay, so what uh, I think your title is still very relevant, especially now. You can justify this. Why do you need this IT adoption framework? So that it will actually fit into the model of the new normal, which is has been advocated by the Indonesian government. Okay, so basically, so now just to get an idea, what do you need? Okay, uh, for example, let's say that for one operator, okay, one operator. Let's say that no, let's say that once things are a little bit okay, and let's say Bali is opening up to tourists, and tourists are starting to come in. Maybe not now, but in the near future, inshallah. Okay, uh, what will be for one microservice operators? How what kind of IT, okay, can be incorporated, can be adopted by them. And you must, when you say what kind of this, so what kind of IT services that is okay. For example, let's say that now perhaps previously, okay, when someone wants to pay something, they want to pay using cash, but because of COVID, for example, in Malaysia, they actually really encourage using this cashless because they do not want to. There is even the money, okay, the cash, the paper money, okay, can
Okay.
be a medium of transfer for COVID. So you don't want anything. So perhaps that is one aspect. So if, for example, let's say one
Okay.
uh, microservice operators wants to actually incorporate this cashless transaction, okay, for their tourism, okay, for their services, but they are small one, they cannot afford a server, they cannot afford. So what kind of uh, possibilities for them, what kind of model, so that they can benefit, they can use this particular cashless means of doing things, okay, for payment. uh, what kind of technology that they can adopt. So this is example of one. Okay, okay, now secondly, okay, I give you another
Okay.
example. You know, a traditional, but this example is relate to different. Okay, okay, previously, if you want to take a taxi, do you have a taxi in Bali? Okay, no, the oldest, the oldest, okay, if in Malaysia, you know,
Yes,
you
we have.
go to the roadside, and if
Yes.
you see a taxi coming, you will wave your hand, the taxi will come, okay, they will ask, okay, where do you want to go? Okay, I want to go. So okay, you go inside, and
Wait.
after it reach the destination, you will pay the amount, and then you get off. That is taxi. But you can see that there is a different, like Grab, Uber, in Indonesia, Gojek, is it correct? Gojek, you know, you can see that, okay, using IT, you adopt IT, meaning that to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
extent that
Project.
you don't really have to wait, you actually just using the mobile application, you can actually call, okay, I want to go from here to here, and then you will know how many minutes, and even that particular services will come to your home to pick you up, you know, and to go elsewhere. So basically, that is an example of how IT can be adopted. That is a taxi, but let's say you put in the context of these microservices operators. Okay, a tourism. Okay, I was in Bali when when I was in Bali, when I want to go just to get someone to some operator, okay, take me to different places in Bali, the Kuta Beach and some other very exciting places in Bali. We go to the hotel and we ask, okay, there's people there waiting, asking where do you want to go and so on. We negotiate the price and we go. But it is also possible for tourists. Okay, perhaps there is an application apps. It's like the Uber or Grab. Okay, whereby there is a services that we can actually use an application. Okay, so that it can actually that application can actually allow perhaps tourists, okay, can have more flexibility in terms of choosing where do you want to go and so on. So this is similar to that. So uh, these are all the things that I think, okay, uh, if we can create an IT adoption framework which covers many of these important elements, I think in terms of small operators can really benefit, okay, can really benefit from new customers. Okay, one example that because I'm sharing my experience with Bali. I've been Bali only once, but it was a very good experience back then. And during that time, the Malaysian ringgit is higher, so I think we are richer at that point of time. Okay, because back then, that was one USD is 3 ringgit. Back then, so 3.1. So the spending power is higher back then. But what happened was that uh, we when we take this particular tourist operator, this operator take us in a van, okay, among friends, and it takes us. Actually, we have no idea where to go. Okay, where to go? So, what we say, okay, take us somewhere nice. So actually, what that operator did was, okay, suddenly that operator stopped into this particular. This is like a small home industry where they create all these craft, okay, handicraft, the ones similar to the ones that you give me a present. Okay, is there, is there, okay, handicraft. And okay, we see these people selling
Okay.
all this handicraft, very
Yeah.
nice handicraft and so on.
Okay.
But we can see that there's a lot of different things in Bali, but unfortunately we as tourists, we are stuck only to those which operators bring. There is no option for us to actually. We know that there are so many things in Bali, but it
Mm.
is not being exposed to us. So meaning that, just imagine that if you have perhaps, the people in for example, some tourist operator. Tourist does not mean that actually they, for example, these tourists, they create, for example, I'm not sure, batik. I'm not sure whether Bali, there is a batik in Bali or not. Let's say that there is a very unique Bali batik. Okay, okay, and perhaps the use of IT can be actually a means so that tourists can really discover that, oh, there is a one interesting place here, okay, which actually shows the creator, the people that who draws the batik and so on. Abu Bakar, do you know what is batik? Do you know what is batik? Batik, the we actually acknowledge batik is from Indonesia, but there is a batik Malaysia. We are not stealing Indonesian, okay? But we grow as people, and we
Yeah.
learn from,
Yeah.
and we create our own version. So that's it. So but batik Indonesia is one of is unique, is well known worldwide, and in Malaysia also we have lots of batik Indonesia here. Okay, and let's say that the process of drawing the batik, is very interesting, but unfortunately we know that there exists, and but there's no means of we knowing what. So perhaps that this IT, this comprehensive, you can come up with a framework so that how can uh, this particular uh, small operators can actually advertise, can expose this to tourists, potential tourists coming in. Okay, and even perhaps there is a model that allows that, for example, let's say now when we go and visit somewhere, we are stuck with a very specific place. Is it possible, for example, let's say I want to take my family, okay, we take a car or a small van, okay, I want to go this place A, B, C, and D, very specific places, and some apa this tourist driver, they have a van, will agree with me that okay, I will take you to this
Driver.
A, C, D, and F destination with an agreed amount of certain payment, which means that because perhaps you want to take me to somewhere which I may not have interest in these particular things, but it's part of the package. So perhaps that can be used to customize. So in terms of, I'm just throwing ideas. So perhaps these are the things that how can we come up with something different using IT that can allow
If
flexibility, okay, flexibility to tourists, and perhaps it can allow these small micros operators within the tourism industry in Bali to be able to advertise them, because sometimes the big ones will take benefit, because you can see that, because how do we, because they pay to the drivers, okay, take still will pay you something. I know that is how, even in Malaysia, that is how it is done. But you have various small ones, they cannot actually, they don't have the means to pay in a way of that. So meaning that perhaps this adoption framework, the ones that you will be recommending, will be something of a game changer that allows equal access for this particular small tourists to the wider um, tourists that comes to Bali later on. But now definitely very limited tourists. And don't worry. So when we see about this, doesn't mean that, oh, do I need to create all this app? No, no. Do not. You do not need to create all this app. But what you can do is that the ideas, okay, the ideas, and later on, how do you want to sort of validate all this? Perhaps, if you are to create a proof of concept, okay, there are several ways. Of course, if you can create something that is small, a simple one, conceptually, to show that it is implementable, okay, the concept, and perhaps later on, you can use like a survey to existing, let's say, microservice operators, okay, in terms of what their perception, whether if you have this, will it benefit them. So that is another point of later on how to justify this. Yeah.
okay, okay, Prof. Yes, I will try to find more literature to help me justify. In fact, last week I found
uh,
one literature about the relation
Ah,
between COVID-19 and tourism industry, which was published last month. Okay, maybe I
no,
will show it
not
to
yet.
you.
You have to share.
Where I put that?
Can
Can
you
you see,
guys
Prof?
see this?
No, no.
Uh,
Oh,
Okay.
no, no.
You have
Maybe
to
I,
upload. No, no,
wait, wait.
not yet.
uh, the share there is like there is an arrow within the
How to?
there is
You have to upload.
yeah, this, do you see the arrow
Yes.
beside the microphone? Okay,
Okay.
meaning that if you
How to?
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
I mean,
you have
how to share
you have to
my entire screen
you
without
see the
You have to
camera,
speaking?
upload,
you see
upload.
the
Upload
microphone,
the file.
there is a, and you see, yeah, I'm seeing this now. Ah,
Yes, yeah, now see.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the article that, uh, yeah, here uh, they come
Ah,
up with advancing and transforming
yeah,
COVID-19
I think this
tourism
is
research.
very relevant to
I
you.
think
If that this
this
is the things that
it
you want, because
this
you can see
will
that there's a
help
lot
me
of
to justify.
you see examples of fields, the things that
Yeah,
you can do. For example, such as you see, uh, yeah, there are many elements that you can include
yeah, yeah,
into your framework. Now, what's important now, because you have this actually, when you guys are in Bali, I think you have this very big advantage in terms of Bali is well known throughout the world. When people say Bali, okay, this is one of the tourist destination center that is very popular in the world. And even I think Bali is more popular than Indonesia. Okay, yeah, yeah, I really think, because yes, that's true. People, if you go to Europe, okay, you
Yeah,
talk about
but it's
Bali.
very famous.
Bali,
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
sort of,
very famous.
they wish they can go to Bali, but they are not sure where is Bali. It's somewhere in Asia.
Yes,
Okay, yeah, Bali, but and I think, because now, because from my own experience, I see that the way that tourism in Bali, you have, one is the big operators, the big hotels, the big operators, and the people who are actually they are actually independent, so individual operators, that but they actually informally serve the hotels. That is one. Okay, secondly, you can see the small operators, okay, the small operators, tourism operators, which is the owner of the handicraft, the owner of a small setup that can be very interesting to potential tourists. So these are the people that we are actually trying to serve by your framework. Okay, so and most of them, actually the level of adoption of IT adoption is very basic. Is very basic. Perhaps they have WhatsApp, so Facebook, whatever things, but I'm sure that we can have more than that.
yeah,
Okay, so now this is where that how you can build this for small tourists can benefit this. Okay, I'm just asking, is there any like organization or body to support these small tourist operators in Indonesia, in Bali? Do you have any of that? Huh?
I think there is one community, Prof.
Is
that
it
support the
under the Indonesian
local
government, or this is
micro or
something
small
like
tourism services operator.
very in official? It's not official in nature, or it's like basically part of a government agency. Uh,
I think they
who
registered
organize
under
this?
the Department of Industry
Is
and
it the
Commerce
operators themselves?
under the
It's like,
government.
is it some sort of an
Uh,
association?
uh,
Okay, why don't you actually work? Is it possible for you to work with them in
yes,
terms
some
of
sort of association.
to look into possibilities, so that now you have a stakeholder, so meaning that similar to your friends, you are trying to create together, so meaning that your research is not just by studying that and that, but you want to create this together, taking into feedback. This is what we call action research. So if you can actually work together with these people, okay, with this organization, and
Okay.
it would be stronger justification for your research, meaning that you have this organization that actually looks into the welfare, perhaps not welfare, but in terms of how to looks into the small tourism in Bali. So now you are working with this particular organization, so that you can come up with a framework, the using based on IT, that will benefit the tourist itself. Okay, so these are something that perhaps you should consider, and yeah, I think that is the best thing. And now please take into consideration
Okay,
again,
Prof.
because we want to benefit from, people say that COVID is a disaster, but now you as a researcher, now please take benefit from this COVID, because now this is new current, okay, and this in Indonesia, this is new normal. So please take, your framework must fit in the new normal uh, model under the Indonesian government. For example, yeah, for example, I give you example now what's happening uh, in Malaysia. Some of the businesses here now, they do not take cash. They will not accept cash. So basically, uh, they will only accept cashless. So basically, because of that, there actually exists different mechanism of how we can actually pay cashless. You do not need to have credit card or anything. So there are different ways. Now that is the new normal in Malaysia. Because of this pandemic, people actually change. Okay, people change. In in some places in Malaysia, even when you want to buy something now, they some restrict, because there is a maximum number of people that can go into the shop. Okay, they limit the number. So sometimes, they come up with ICT means, so that they have all this catalog now they have all the catalog outside, so to for the people to be able to choose something. Okay, this is what I want. Okay, this is what we have. This is what you want. And then only, okay, once we want to have, then they will take into the shop, show, okay, this is the ones that you want to show. Is this really show physically? But they don't allow people just to go into the shop and go check, touch everything. They do not allow, because when you touch everything, there's a problem of infection. So because of this, they prepare like a online catalog. They can choose there, and then only then they will take. Once you choose, okay, this is what you want, they will take, okay, now this is what you want. See but do not touch. Okay, they do not want infection. You see, because now the pandemic is actually changing things, how we are doing things. So what I want you guys to do it is that look into, especially in Indonesia, into the new normal. So what is the, we have all, you have all the different rules. So how does this IT adoption fits into the new normal in Indonesia, so that the tourism, the micro operators can benefit from this. So I think that is something that is very interesting. I'm sure that if you can do this, I think people will be very interested in this. And in UNIKL also, actually, we have actually our business school, okay, our business school, which actually there are some people who, some of the lecturers there are focusing in tourism as a business. So perhaps if I can get some feedback from them, I can invite, if he or she perhaps can give views on the things that you do, so that, because this input from the tourism as a business, yeah, these are the things that we should explore. And I think that you have a very good literature here that you can actually read this. There's a lot of elements here uh, that you can focus and look into what kind of IT adoption that is most
Yeah.
important. No need to cover everything. Remember that sometimes, the 20% that you choose can cover 80%. Focus on the 20%. See, be smart about things. Okay. So I know that. Okay, you
Okay.
say that there are
Okay,
three
Prof.
things. So what are the other two?
Okay.
What are the other one?
Okay, Prof. The first about the title. The second one is about, is it this condition, this COVID-19 outbreak, still beneficial to my research? That's the second question, Prof. I think you answered that already, because at first I use the number of tourists to visit Bali from
Yes.
uh, 2 years, yeah, from the last 2 years, 2018 and 2019. This is very positive number. Yes, the growth is 3.37%, almost as
Yes.
same as the growth uh, in Europe for 5 years. This is the big number. But after the coronavirus outbreak, I have doubt about about how to address the background, how to justify.
Okay.
But
Very good.
after your explanation and your point of view, I think that's already answered, Prof. And then, yeah, then because I recently tried to collect all the literature related to tourism or IT adoption
Okay.
in tourism field, I found around 60, 60 literature for now.
Okay.
Okay, 60 literature,
Ah.
and I try to categorize them, Prof, into uh, IT adoption, micro or medium enterprise, and tourism.
Okay.
And then I try to look their method or
Yes.
their object, their finding. I also found a very good literature uh,
Okay.
review research about the model, TAM, TRA, TTB until you tout. Then to go to my third question is
Ah.
this related to, okay, this one, Prof. Okay, jadi this one is about the pace,
Okay.
how the tourism microservices operator use IT, from 0 to 5. This
Okay.
proposed by Knoll and Sproken in 2001. I think this is some kind of diffusion theory. I try to find uh, the condition on how the micro or how the tourism services operator use
Okay.
IT. I try to find that in several literature, but I haven't found it yet, Prof. That specifically uh, the finding is to identify the phase of use of IT in tourism
Yes.
micro services operator. I think that is one gap that I can use. So yeah, I will try to find out the phase, okay, uh, and I will try to identify what are
Yes.
the category in each
Yeah.
phase
I
based
think
on
I think
this
that's good because
theory
basically
from Knoll
my
and
my
Broken.
fear, actually our fears is that
Yeah,
all are answered, meaning that okay, whatever problem that we come up, you will find papers answering that, and then we have a problem. We have a problem because the problem have been answered. So meaning that if you yourself, okay, when you review the literature, you find it's difficult. It's difficult to find certain literature that actually very specific on, yeah, because for example, let's say that we take this particular literature. There are five phases. Okay, blah 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 blah, 1 to 0 to 5. But at the end of the day, if you go to the ground, okay, you go to the
yeah,
ground, people who want to actually these small micro operators want to, they want, let's say let's say I am a small micro operator, a startup. Let's say that, oh, okay, I have some money, I want to actually I have some assets, I want to start my business. Okay, actually, I have some business, the traditional way of tourism, but now I want to actually use IT to enhance my business in Bali. So what can I do? How do I move from my current state of traditional to IT, whereby this IT can offer me something that is better for me. Perhaps I can have access to more tourists. I can have new things. It can save some cost. It can actually bring in new profit and so on. So what can I do with IT? I'm this field, but I myself, I'm just a tourist operator. I have no idea about IT, but what can IT do for me? So this is the answer, that if you can answer this, perhaps the tourist operators may find, by using your model, it is easy and it is practical for them, practical and affordable to them, to be able to actually move, meaning that from the traditional way of conducting their businesses to IT enhanced business, meaning that still traditional, we are not getting rid of the traditional thing, but we are enhancing, okay, the business with IT. So this is like something that we want to improve. So if I am the operator, if I am to read all this, I have no idea what this is all about. Okay, so perhaps that it will allow the operators itself to be able
okay.
to actually to be involved in this. Secondly, perhaps there are IT companies. IT companies. Previously, IT companies, you sell server, you sell different equipment, software, but now you are selling this solution. You go to the tourist now. Okay,
Yeah,
now we
yeah,
have this model. You can
yeah.
actually, like, you go to the tourist, say that, okay, we can help you to actually to market your product. Okay, these tourist operators to market your product using IT, whereby you can have more access to
Mm.
potential tourists coming in. So we can actually use this to advertise your product so that people can get your services and so on. Okay, so basically this is what it will benefit the tourist operators, and it can also possibly benefit the IT service providers. You know, meaning that now the IT service providers sometimes they are just selling hardware and software, not tailored to this. But now, what we are trying to move is that we have this unique, this IT model, whereby this model can be the basis of a comprehensive solution how to IT can actually enhance, okay, the micro tourism industry in Bali especially. So this is what you are offering. So meaning that you create the model, but of course the proof of concept, you try to actually have some example of this, how you can have it. Doesn't mean that don't worry about, oh, do I need to create the whole solution, I need to, not necessary, because what's important is proof of concept. Okay, just yeah. So basically I think this is the thing, then I think there is a gap there. So meaning that something that is practical and really you can justify this, because the justification later on in your proposal defense, you can highlight that, okay, you see this graph, 2018-19, so Bali is on the rise up, or perhaps is maintained very high, but suddenly 2020 zoom, it goes down because of the COVID. And you can justify based on some government report, I'm sure that you'll get a lot of this, that the worst affected people are the small ones, right? The small operators, the small entrepreneurs, they are the most affected.
Right.
The poorest people will be most affected by this compared to those who have a lot of money. So basically, because of this, it justifies for you to actually now let us how you can come up with this model, so that it be basis of a solution, so that these small operators can actually benefit from this at an affordable, and it is reasonable in terms of the technical things, because you do not, of course, we don't want them to do any programming to do that, but as operators, how they can adopt IT. So this is your model. It's very interesting. So I'm looking forward to actually to your
Okay,
work,
Prof.
because I do think that it has a very big potential, to be successful in your country. Yes, yes.
Okay, so that will lead to another question, Prof. But how can I get? I mean, how do I? How should I do this? I mean,
Ah,
I try to find the use of IT in specifically in tourism enterprise. Yeah, the phase, is it the zero? What is the criteria of zero? The phase one, what is the criteria of phase one, and so on. But I haven't found it yet. So
okay. So
can I do the,
basically, okay.
I
Now,
mean, survey,
okay.
Prof?
Normally, when
Or
uh,
to address this, please?
the way that actually any PhD student do, okay, like I say that, okay, when we focus on a certain title, we say that, I say that, okay, at this point of time, this is very good, the title is very good tentatively, but this may change, right? This may change. So basically, normally what a normal thing in any PhD research is that we try to
Okay,
cover, no, it's the same thing, but we cover a little bit more, meaning that we try this to see different things. So because now we are not sure whether do I have the these specific materials to do now at this point of time? You do not know. So basically, you will cover a little bit more in terms of the scope. But later on, once you have that, you will decide on what are the things that you have. For example, now, because at this point of time, I think still the literature is still ongoing, the review is still ongoing. You are still not sure of what is out there in terms of material. And when you actually find material, sometimes these materials will give you new ideas. Oh, perhaps I can do this, but try to stick to what we are doing, but new things. So my advice to you is that uh, I think in terms of it's not important what to do first, second, because you are talking about the different phase, okay? How to actually adopt, meaning you adoption, there are phases, what to do first, to do second, to do third. Okay, I think at this point of time, forget about what to do first, but what can you do? What can you do? That is the first thing that you will cover. Okay, no need to actually focus a lot looking for phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. But what can we do? So for example, we can do A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, now take all that you can have. A, B, C, D. Okay, A is until X, Y, doesn't matter. But later on, like I say that, of course we cannot cover everything. So what are the most significant, most important? Then we will choose the what. We will choose the what. Okay, now this will be some elements of IT adoption. For example, let's say if you are to split, I'm just giving out just a trashing idea here. Let's say for tourism, you have IT for advertising. Let's say IT for advertising. Perhaps there's IT for payment, IT for perhaps reservation booking. Okay, IT for some other things. So what are the areas of tourism that can be beneficial for that? You see. But of course, to know this, I myself, that is part of what I'm not sure. So you have to do research. So look for how IT can possibly do for tourism. Sometimes you need to go outside the box because, for example, like I say that you see like the taxi, the taxi example just now. Perhaps it's not mentioned that this is about tourism, but then is it possible for the similar concept like the Uber or the Gojek or whatever services can be similar to like people wanting to actually visit places so that they have more flexibilities in terms of the place. So it's like very customized, very customized. For example, I want to A, C, D, and F. I want to go to these places. I am not interested to go to the disco in Kuta Beach because I don't party, for example. Okay, and perhaps those operators can actually provide the services based on what the tourist wants. Okay, it's very customized. So these are some of the possible ideas. Okay, so what you need to do now is that try to look for how is in what form can IT be used, okay, to benefit the tourist industry, especially the micro operators. In what form? In what form? Try to look for the what first, and after this one, you will be presenting to us. Okay, what are the potential applications of ICT that supports this micro tourism? Okay, So forget about the how, what to do first, later on. That is later on. Once we have decided on what we have, then we go
Okay.
into what do we need. How, if we want to implement this,
Yeah.
how do we implement this? Then it goes into how. And once you have the how, then we will go into, okay, now this is the how, but how, what do you do first? What do we need to do first? What second? So how can we structure into like a roadmap, a different roadmap of, you know, different tourist operators can take different path, but different maps of you can do this, or you can do like this, you can do like this. There are different options for them. So these are all your framework, your model that allows the small operators to actually adopt, okay, to adopt IT according to their, meaning that you will not be giving this one option. There are multiple options that they can have. So these are the things that I think what you can do. Very specific for tourism in Bali.
Okay, Prof.
There's a lot of option, because ini
Okay.
what you are doing, there's
Now
no
it
right or wrong.
suddenly
There's no
became
right or wrong.
a lot of options.
And I think in terms of, you see, PhD, is that it's not that sometimes,
Okay.
the problem of reading too much is that we tend to think that, oh, everyone have answered all your questions, so what can I do now? The answers are all there, people have written all the papers. But you need to actually, that's why when we start everything, we start with a problem. We start with a problem. So meaning that now you can see that the problem in Bali, because of this pandemic, there are lots of problems. Can you help to solve this problem using IT? You see, this is something that, but of course you cannot. Later on, perhaps when based on your model, some other parties, some other businessmen can pick up your model, use your model as a guide for them to offer different kind of services to the operators. So the beneficiary will be the operators, and of course the businessman also, because he is actually providing an IT product as a solution. Okay, not just IT product as a hardware and software, but it's a solution. Okay, and it will be
Okay.
based on your framework, your model. Yes, similar to Dewa, in terms of when you have this smart banjar, there will be, of course, you can see that the small business people within the banjar organization, the banjar structure, will benefit. But of course, there will be people, the IT service providers, the business IT business people will offer a product. So meaning that this product may actually, the business people may not need to actually buy expensive IT. Perhaps it's based on rental. It can be based on, you just use, okay, whatever uh, whatever sales that they take the profit. Similar to, for example, I have now actually some of my children still studying in bachelor's degree, still studying now. They have businesses now, meaning that they have this, especially they go to this online, Shopee. Are you familiar with Shopee? Lazada, Shopee. Actually, I have a son still studying in UNKL, bachelor's degree. Actually,
Yeah.
he has a business,
Very
Shopee,
familiar.
whereby
Yeah.
in a way that to market, it markets using Instagram, using uh, Facebook, and even to sell the product, they have this agreement, meaning that if you take the Shopee and it complies on the posting, you post, you want to courier the product, it's very cheap. And to the extent that when they opt for a particular services from Shopee, it allows, for example, okay, it will Shopee will actually advertise his product, but any product sold, okay, Shopee will take 10%. So meaning that he actually does not pay anything extra to Shopee in terms of, oh, I'm going to pay this amount for advertising. No need, because they say that, okay, it's like commission to Shopee, meaning that, okay, if for example zero people buy because of the advertising by Shopee, then he does not lose anything. But if somebody actually buy the product, okay, you give the 10% commission, so which is actually still there's profit there. So you can see that perhaps your model can actually take into consideration that uh, the tourist does not need to buy anything, sort of, if that is possible, meaning that does not need to buy anything, or perhaps if they need to buy something, of course, the investment will not be very high and it is affordable based on the small nature of the businesses by these people. So try to actually think of ways how that can we help these people. So if we are successful in coming with something that is, it's very simple, the concept is simple, but nobody has put this together. Everything are scattered, you put this together in a structure form, and people can see that this is very organized, and so on. Okay, definitely it will give you a PhD, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay, Prof. I think that will make it more clear now. Because I found several articles about e-commerce
Yes.
adoption too in tourism. I think
Yeah.
that will be can help me to yeah to develop the model.
Yes.
So I will try to justify this prop for the next
Yes.
discussion. I will try to present to you uh, what is the problem. Okay, what is the problem regarding this new
Yes.
normal in Indonesia, the traditional ways of how the
Yes.
tourism services operates need to change into something new in this new normal. Then
Yeah.
I will try to look uh, associations in the
Yes.
tourism and try to get
Yeah.
information or even work together with them to find the problem also. And I think maybe uh, do you have
I think that's a lot.
anything
I
else,
think
Prof, that
slowly,
you expected
slowly,
me to
slowly. Okay.
present in the next?
I think they were just now, like I said, and did a very good job in writing the problem statement. You see,
Okay.
something that you give the background. What's the problem that leads to why do you want to do this, and what are the
Okay.
ideas. Yeah. So meaning that if you can write something like this, Abu Bakar has written a lot. Okay, but now if we can agree with Dr. Abdulaziz that we are focusing our health information system with the pandemic, how to manage the pandemic. Okay, then there's
Managing.
things that actually we can know, and I
Mm.
think it is common for
Yeah.
all three of you. We live this situation is once in every 100 years, they say. Okay, so it is unique. Now you are at the point of, things are going to everything is, and people are not sure of what to do, next, right? So because of this not sure, this is where you come in. This is a gap, and I'm sure that you go back 10 years back, can you see that because of pandemic we have these problems? No, this is now, so this is current. I'm sure that yours are unique because you relate this to our situation under pandemic. And like because you know in 2015 Bill Gates actually given a talk about the possibility that no the next world war is not because of war, because of pandemic. And he said this in 2015, and he actually predicted 5 years from 2015. And if you listen to Bill Gates, actually, even I've listened to CNN and so on, because they have this town hall, CNN and so on. So actually, Bill Gates said that no, this pandemic, this COVID is not is today. In 5 years' time, there may be a new pandemic different from COVID. So meaning that you can see that this particular new normal is really here to stay. It will not go away easily. Even if you things go away, I think we learn. We as people, countries, we learn a good lesson that if it happens today, it can happen again a different time, and we should be prepared for that. And now, what you are in the position at the beginning of this pandemic, take this advantage to come up with something that, if later on, let's say, perhaps after there is a vaccine, 2 years, things will go back to normal. But then your research is still valid. Why? Because if there is another pandemic with no vaccine, so where do you turn? So you will turn to how do we survive in this kind of situation. So IT is very important now, and you can see now what because of this pandemic, we cannot meet face to face. So actually we have to actually adapt to new things. And once we have adapted to new things, I think even many of us can I work from home forever? Okay, because we find it convenient. You can share. So we learn to change. Even as of now, I would say that if uh, they allow, in terms of the previously they say that the Malaysian government requires all PhD students studying here to be at least in 1 year, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks sort of. But of course, under these circumstances, things have changed. Okay, perhaps the government will think, oh, no need to come. We can still have this consultation using online, as long as that we can give evidence that consultation is happening. That's why we are recording all this. This is evidence that actually, although you are not here in Malaysia, but consultation happens. And this is because meaning that you register as a student, really you are studying, not because we have some people, they register because they want the visa to be able to do businesses here. But so things change. So I do think personally that even though, let's say in 2 years time, many of the people of this planet is getting vaccinated, and COVID is slowly gone, I think many of the elements that we are having now is here to stay. I do believe, similar to like this using this online WebEx or using Zoom, it is here to stay, and perhaps in a form that is a hybrid form, but easily that when things go wrong, we can fall back 100% on this. So we are preparing for that. So your IT adoption, so in the Banja Smart structure, we are preparing for this. So meaning that eventually, if there is another pandemic, perhaps, okay, so the way that we do it is, this is how we do things. So something that we want to highlight to people. So this is the role of IT. And I think that you are fortunate to have this situation. so that your work becomes unique. If there's no pandemic, I'm not sure what you are going to do, because what you are going to do initially is similar to, there's no difference between smart, everything has done smart, or you want to IT adoption, what people have come up with lots of IT adoption integration, different
Before.
levels. But then when there is a
Yes.
pandemic, 10 years ago,
Yes.
there's nobody have written papers about,
Yes.
okay, what do you do if there is a pandemic like this, because the pandemic like this is happening now. So you will be the first one to write. So take this advantage, becomes unique. Now you can
Yes.
sell anything because of and I
Yes.
thought one of once
Yes.
I know, because I've read this Indonesia, some of the Ministry of Agriculture, they are selling some, I don't know, it's like anti-COVID and people are, and it's like they want to mass produce, and then but then of course many
Nichols.
people
Uh-huh.
are objecting to
And
this is
COVID
not
cycle.
actually anti-COVID, but this is like some plant or something that can antibacterials, or but what I'm saying now, you put in the COVID, you can sell anything. So similar to research, you put pandemic or COVID in your title, and automatically, people will be interested to read your thing. Different.
Yes.
Okay, so let us actually take advantage of this. So
Yes.
COVID
Correct.
is a
You are.
disaster
Uh,
to many, but there is positivity to that. So let us take this opportunity to actually do research that can help our people, at least to lessen the problems and give them new options, so that they can actually move forward. Some of them can move forward and take advantage of our research. So this is something that I think I'm looking forward to, all three of you guys research. Very interesting. I was actually, when you presented, I can even I frankly speaking, you know uh if you attend, I think, was it last week, Abu Bakar, that you presented, was it last week you presented some of the some of the presentation? I frankly, listening that,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
this is very boring.
Yeah.
I frankly
Yeah.
speaking, I have no idea what you are talking about, because not you, because some other presenters, I have no idea what they are talking about. It's boring. It's like there's nothing new. But then, like like in terms of there was presentation, just now, is better than, the conference paper that I actually, because when I listen, you talk about the
Yes.
banja structure, how it interests me, because it is a real thing.
Yes.
It's a real
Thank you,
thing,
Prof. Thank
and you
you.
can see that, this is very good, and
Yes.
I'll be interested, especially when you,
Yes.
because Bali is known for tourism. What's next? Perhaps your first paper to publish in some conference or seminar. Bali, how does IT? What's the role of IT? Okay, that can actually help lessen the effects of this COVID-19 to Bali. What is the potential? You can write a paper on that, if you have enough the potential. So these are the things that I'm looking forward, and especially Abu Bakar, because this is health issues. We really need an integrated health information, but focusing on the public management. All
Yes.
this related to the pandemic, include the testing. How do you information about testing, information
Yes.
about contact tracing, quarantine, and different things. But at the same time, you need security and privacy. So these are the things that we are looking forward. What kind of a model that you can give. Even the US
Yes.
people, so many smart people in the world, they suck at this, you see, the US, 25% of their population is like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
25%
Yeah.
of the infection is in the US. So they suck at this. They suck at
Okay.
all this public
Yes.
management. So perhaps Libya can teach US something.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so I'm looking forward. Okay, so actually let us give us some
Yes.
timeline. So
I will do my
because
best.
I know
Yeah.
that you need time to do your research. Okay, let us plan tentatively 2 months from now. 2 months from now. Okay, 2 months from now. So perhaps now this is like end of July. Perhaps we have end of September.
Okay.
End of September, we can have another one. So I'm looking forward to have this. Okay, and you can actually you know even if you have time that uh, write one paper. Abu Bakar have written papers, but yes. So write the next paper. Write the second paper.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost finished. Inshallah. Maybe next week I should
Ah,
submit. Yeah, yeah, of course. Also, my plan for next paper is ready as well. I'm planning to start after do a presentation for
because
the
when you have
proposal. I
ideas,
will go through
you
the
do
next
not
paper,
write
inshallah.
properly,
Maybe
the ideas will be
at the
gone.
end of September.
So if you write, sometimes it's not easy to write. When you write, but then they are missing. It's
Yeah,
okay to have something that is lacking,
yeah,
because
yeah,
when something is lacking, you will actually come back to that. Okay, how can I improve this? You see, so writing is important for you to organize your thoughts. And so you don't talk about the whole of your research. You talk about, first you are talking about background. Talk about the background. So
right.
what is the potential, and then we move forward. Okay, this is our model. These are some of the elements. Then you go. So meaning that, so by the end, this is how you do research. So by the end of your uh, viva, you can claim that, oh, I have actually written 3 or 4 papers at least. Okay, maybe some of the papers still not accepted, but at least I have written something. It's not something. So, and that
Yeah,
the things that you write, some of you can actually easily take that to be part of your thesis later on. So actually, you are starting writing your thesis now based on that. Just you need to somehow change a little bit, add a little bit, and so on, because the concept is thesis, and the paper, the concept is like 6 pages of paper. So it's like but in thesis this is become one chapter. So basically these are the things that I think something that I'm very positive. We were admittedly we were a little bit slow for the past 1 year. Okay, because of perhaps I think we together contribute to that. So now let us be passionate about this. And I think perhaps, this COVID give us a new sense of urgency and new
yeah.
ideas on you need to have a new solution to things. So this is good. So hopefully I will see you again about 2 months time. But you are welcome if you
Yeah,
want to have later on. But if you think that in 1 month's time, oh,
Prof.
can I
Uh,
present something to you? Okay, it's easy for us to call you. Okay, I'm going to have this one. Okay, if you have something that you
yeah.
want to present, you are
Uh,
welcome. So meaning that when I say 2 months, that's maximum. So if you have something that you want to present earlier, we can have this earlier.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Of course, sure, 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 sure. Thank you, Doctor Professor.
Prof,
Thank you.
about the paper that we are going to write,
Okay.
how do we discuss?
I
Can
I
I
I like
send
to
you an email
discuss
or
using
discussion
WhatsApp.
in WhatsApp maybe
Okay,
about the paper?
because email. I like WhatsApp. I like WhatsApp very much you can share the materials there, because still we can actually download similarly. It's the same process actually, but I prefer WhatsApp now, because the notification is, because I have this problem with email. Sometimes people email, I
Yes.
tend to forget things.
Very
Okay, I say okay,
very
but
fast.
then when email,
Pop
like
up.
there are like
Yeah.
in 1 week there are 40 or 50 different emails,
Yeah. Correct.
it's like gone. So when it's WhatsApp, it's easier. So I prefer that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all the best to you, Abu
Yeah.
Bakar. Are you in Kuantan now? You are renting
Uh,
a home? Where is it? Where is it?
yeah, I'm still in
Is this a
contact.
real background, or is
Yeah.
this is a virtual background?
Up to today, no. Yesterday was, yeah.
Okay, so
No. I will give you the real. No, it's not the real.
okay. Okay, so
I will try,
all the
but
best to
but
you
today is
guys.
sunny. It's
So I
sunny.
hope that
The
you
weather is very
can
nice
make a
today.
very good progress.
Yeah.
So I'm
I,
looking
I,
forward to actually to hear from you for next, because I see now very positivity,
Thank you.
and I see your path is getting clear. Previously, it's like I was thinking, what actually are you trying to achieve? It's very blurry, it's very wide, but now I think
yeah.
Thank
it's
you.
clearer to you. I can see from your faces. But believe me, it's not easy. It's
Yes.
difficult. When you have this difficulty, this is the, you
Yeah.
ask
Of course.
anyone with a
Yeah.
PhD now, asking them, were you at one stage that you are lost? They will tell you yes, few times, many times. So that is the normal, the
Anytime.
old normal of doing PhD.
Yeah.
Okay, that is normal for you to lose. But again, when you feel lost,
Yes.
Yeah.
this is where I come in.
Yeah.
I will guide you, I will motivate you, and these are all friends. See, when we have friends, we listen to each other, it will
Yes.
motivate
Thank
us
you. Thank
together,
you. Yeah.
rather than it's me and you. Okay. Okay, so okay, all the best to
Yes.
you. So if you have anything that you need, you can WhatsApp
Yes.
me.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Correct.
inshallah, I'm always available to you. Okay, see you. So I will. This is
Yeah.
recorded,
Sure.
and if you can access this, I
Yeah. Thank
also
you. Thank
Thank you
you.
so
recorded
much, Prof.
this using
Prof.
Camtasia.
Yeah.
So I will try to upload to YouTube and share the link. Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye. Okay. Bye. Okay.
YouTube.
Bye.
YouTube.
Yeah. Please. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
See you. Thank you.
Have a
Thank you.
nice
See
day,
you.
Prof.
See you.
Okay.
Thank you. See you. See you.